Hello everyone and welcome to another cleaning video. Today we do some intake maintenance on this sword. It's a Portuguese cavalry sabre. We're going to dive into like the historical context and the model of the sword and all these things in another video. But today is just the, as I mentioned, the intake part. So it's going to be a quick cleanup and polish. As you can probably see already even from that distance, it's not in bad condition at all. It's no real deep rust or anything, but it does have some active rust areas. It's a little bit grimy and dirty, so it deserves the usual cleanup that all new swords should get when they join a collection. So, well, I hope you'll enjoy, and let's jump right in. Okay, let's get to work on this one. So as I was mentioning, it's in fairly good condition. You can see that there's not a lot of real active rust anywhere. There's a few little spots here, but they're microscopic, so it'll be a very, very quick. Here there's a little bit, but overall the blade is really good. The guard, on the other hand, is a little more oxidized on this side especially, and more towards the inside. You can see it has a little bit of active rust here. It's almost starting to pit, but yeah, it's nothing really too bad. So what I'm going to do here is a quick pass with Autosol and a delicate wipe with the green side of a sponge. But it's a used sponge, so it's not as abrasive as it could be. Just a really, really quick wipe everywhere, and we'll see where we stand after that. Okay, so I'm not sure where things left because I noticed my video stopped recording. My memory was full, so I had to take some time to delete some files. But we're at the end of wiping here. And let's take a look at how the blade turned out. So, oh, sorry, there we go. So it's always a very subtle thing with blades that are not in very bad condition. I always find it's subtle, but I don't know if it comes through on screen. But I mean, it's definitely an improvement. And I feel if you're not afraid of damaging a blade, like if there's no engraving, as if it's not a real like antique in terms of like something one of a kind or something like that, if you're confident that you're not going to cause damage, it always helps. A quick rub of Autosol really brings it back to life. And just to assure you, anyone who may be doubting that there's no real damage, if we look at it close up, you can really I can't see anything, and I'm looking both in the screen and I've checked it out live. There are no scour marks. On the other hand, there still is a little bit of rust here that I'll have to work on. But let me see if I can get it in a good focus spot. But for anyone who may be afraid or in doubt, I would say don't be. Just always keep in mind that you're working on an antique and you don't want to do stuff that you will regret. But in this case, I would challenge anyone to find any kind of mark or damage from the sponge. So anyway, moving on to the hilt. The hilt I won't film because it's just a pain to hold the sword and film and rub at the same time. It's kind of complex. But actually, before I do, let's take a look at how it looks pretty clean, even on the inside, if I can. There we go. And then we'll take a look at it post clean. Okay, and we're at the end of a first pass on the hilt. Let me show you. You can see all the Autosol. Well, you can see the deposit. We'll quickly wipe it off. I'm trying to stay in frame, because what's the point otherwise? And I have to say, props to the Portuguese sabre designers in this case, because it seems like they built a sabre that was meant for easy cleaning. It has just a lot of very delicate curves, wide spaces, There's no like weird open work in the shape of flowers or leaves or stuff. So this one is a pleasure to clean. And here we are. So again, I hope this video, it's not its purpose, but might help anyone who's in doubt on whether or not to clean their swords, what to use, whether or not a certain product is too aggressive, or perhaps even people who are maybe very ideologically against touching an antique or applying like something like Autosol or using a sponge or these things, that it doesn't have to be dangerous and it doesn't have to be risky. And you should always be, of course, careful and aware of what you're doing. And what works for this sword will probably not work for an original medieval sword from some royal court, of course. But you can see nothing has been removed in terms of like the staining or what it was when the sword arrived here. It's just a little more shiny, and well, and there's no active rust. So for example, here you can see the pitting still, that start of pitting that was happening, but at least it's not being corroded actively as we speak. One last step now is going to be, of course, oiling it, which I'll try and do on camera, because it's always fun to work together. And that usually just brings out the final little bit of well, beauty from a sword after it's been cleaned, I feel. So we'll start with the blade. You can see it's currently already nice and very good looking, let's say very handsome blade. And now with just a quick bit of oil, let's see, it turns into usually something. There we go. Look at that beautiful shine. This is, I think, what I try to achieve always when I'm cleaning my sword, which is it looks beautiful, it looks well maintained for and well kept, but it doesn't have to be new. You can see it's an antique, you can see it has a history. I think that is, for me, the perfect middle. But let's move on to the hilt. I have to hold it by the blade, don't worry, I'll clean it again just after. And here we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful shine. It almost makes the historical marks, like the damage to the blade, to the sword and stuff, it almost makes it stand out in a, it almost makes it into a thing of beauty, let's say. So I'll go just a quick wipe with oil, and of course keep in mind that oil is both to make it look good, but it's mainly there to protect it. So this is not something you want to skimp on. Oil can also go on the wood here. Ballistol should be safe for practically any kind of use. And here we go. It's always funny then, you don't know where to hold it for the last, like when everything's clean and oiled, where do you hold it? But here we go. Let's put it down. Get it in focus. And well, let me know what you think. Do you think this was a good cleaning job? Would you have done anything differently? Happy to know. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.